Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and that is one of the latest Toyota models. That is a 2023 Toyota Crown, and in this video I'm going to give you a quick tour of this XLE model. Stay tuned. Hey gearheads, it is springtime here in East Texas, and you know what that means? The pollinating is happening. Yes, my car has been sitting outside for over a week, and you can see it is no longer black. It is a nice shade of pollen, and yeah, not very clean. And then looking over here at this Kia EV6, this has just been out for one night, and we already have a nice coat of pollen all over the top of this one, which leads very nicely into this week's video sponsor. Thanks to our friends at carcover.com, we were able to get a custom perfect fit car cover for my 2013 Chevy Cruze. At carcover.com, they know it's important to keep your car protected, and what they sent me was their Gold Shield 5L car cover, which beats all its competitors for many reasons. It resists all types of extreme weather conditions such as snow, hail, and is 100% waterproof and water resistant. This is the ultimate car care cover for storing your vehicle and protecting it while outside. The soft fleece lining is sure to protect your vehicle's paint and finish while it is underneath, and it comes with a couple clips and a lockable cable to secure it across the middle. So this car cover is not going anywhere, and it will help me keep all that pollen out here in the springtime in East Texas. Huge thanks to carcover.com for providing us with this Gold Shield 5L cover for my Chevy Cruze. You can get one for yourself. Simply follow the link down in the description below and enter promo code GTGarageTalk in the coupon field at checkout for a discount off your first order. All right, gearheads, before we get too far into this one, I do want to say a huge thank you to Classic Toyota here in Tyler, Texas. If you are in the East Texas area, go see Woody at Classic Toyota. Tell him GT Garage Talk sent you. But since I've got the hood propped up with the prop rod on this premium sedan-like vehicle from Toyota, I guess we could go ahead and start talking about the powertrains. So for the 2023 Crown, all variants will be hybrids, every single one. And there are two different options. This being the XLE trim, which is the entry point for this vehicle. It gets the 2.5 liter dynamic force 4-cylinder engine, and it makes 236 horsepower, has electronic on-demand all-wheel drive, and has a electronically continuously variable transmission. All that amounts to what Toyota is really going for with this vehicle. Really impressive fuel economy numbers. So 42 city, 41 highway, 41 combined. And I can tell you, as I'm recording this, I'm actually testing the new 2023 Honda Accord with its 2-liter 4-cylinder and hybrid powertrain, and it has slightly better fuel economy numbers on paper. And in reality, I'm seeing a little bit less than what the EPA rates it at. So I'm really anxious to get one of these to test for a week. But like I said, this one was lent to us from Classic Toyota here in Tyler, Texas. If you want a little more oomph, the XLE and Limited both get this powertrain, but the Platinum version gets the Hybrid Max powertrain with the 2.4 liter Turbo 4, making 340 horsepower and just over 400 pound-feet of torque. That thing is meant to be a driving blast and does sacrifice a little bit on the fuel economy in pursuit of that. It does have full-time electronic all-wheel drive. It does have a proper 6-speed automatic transmission, and the fuel economy, like I said, does suffer 29, 32, 30 combined on that Hybrid Max version on the Platinum trim. But like I said, this is the XLE trim. The Limited also gets this same powertrain. This is going to be the volume powertrain for sure, and there's a lot to like on this vehicle. Let's just get into a little more of the details. Closing the hood, we can take a look at the styling of the new Crown. It has a very interesting and unique face for a vehicle that still has a gasoline-powered engine under the hood. So this large black front bumper that looks like it should be a grille is mostly closed off, which is very interesting to me, that this very massive grille is not really a grille. So feeding air to the radiator, you do have this upper opening and this lower opening down here, which these do sort of open as you get further down, but just a very interesting look to me that Toyota would go so big, so bold on this black grille, much like they did on the Avalon on which this replaces, but it is completely 100% cut off, blocked off. It is a design aesthetic. I will say this will be a whole lot easier to clean. So living with this, I would probably prefer this over the Avalon. Just an interesting look. I can speak from a little bit of experience. My parents just bought a 2019 Avalon, I believe, somewhere in there, 2020, and it is a very big vehicle. It is being replaced with this Crown model. So this slots above the Camry in the Toyota hierarchy and perhaps previews a little bit of what we can expect from future cars from the Toyota brand. So we've already seen the new Prius, we've seen this new Crown, now we've seen the electrified vehicles in the BZ4X and their other concepts in the range, but this is a unique, interesting direction for the brand. So otherwise, very similar styling to some of the newer Toyota cars. Again, going to that Prius, very narrow headlights here. We do have LED turn signals, which I really like even here on this, I guess you could call the XLE the base model. It just doesn't feel that base. It does feel like a very premium vehicle. And then you can see here, we've got an LED running light. That just kind of gives it an extra, a little bit of accent up front here, but fairly decently long hood. Again, I'm driving the Honda Accord right now, which I feel the Honda Accord has a much longer hood than this. I actually parked these side by side because I think the Accord really compares more in size with this Crown than it does the Camry, on which it really competes with on a day in, day out basis. But I really see this more as the size of the Accord because that is a very large vehicle. But you can see this one, when it came out, I had a lot of my journalist friends talking about, is it an SUV? Is it a hatch? Like, what is it? It does have a slightly higher, what the industry calls H point or hip point than the Avalon on which it replaces. It does sit up a little bit taller, but it really is just a tall car with a fastback roofline. So very interesting, unique, sporty, dynamic design on this one. Very athletic looking vehicle. And the hybrid max powertrain will really give you will really deliver on the athletic looks with that hybrid max powertrain. Here on this one, we'll get into driving dynamics in just a little bit. You can see a little bit of how the light is playing here on the sides. They're slightly sculpted. There's a little bit going on here, but they aren't overstyled like some of the other Toyota vehicles. And yes, I'm talking Toyota Supra. That thing has got all kinds of crazy lines on it. You can see here we do have LED turn signals on the mirrors here on the sides. And then again, we have to talk about it. This sweeping fastback roofline does give you a little extra window back here, which you probably would not have had on the traditional sedan style. And then moving around to the back, you get a very interesting look with that sweeping rear kind of coupe-like look to this thing. You can see back here we have LED lights running all the way across. You got LED blinkers and brake lights there, so those do double duty back there. And yes, that all-wheel drive badge. So all Crowns are all-wheel drive, all Crowns are hybrids. Just something to keep in note. Another interesting look here on the style. So we have this fastback line here, but we have this break in the body color with the black that really makes the window look like it comes down a whole lot further. Again, just giving it that more sporty look and appearance. And then again, you get Crown spelled out on the back. Here's your rear backup camera, but here is your trunk release, which opens to give you just slightly better than the Camry in 15.2 cubic feet of space. I believe the Camry has 15.1. So while this does slot above the Camry in the model hierarchy, it's not that much more usable space back here. So you can see I only have my backpack with me today, so we can't do our full luggage test, but you can see very nice, very spacious trunk. And we do have a 60-40 split rear seat with levers to pull here to fold it down, but you're either gonna have to push it from in here or pull it from up front. So not the easiest to release those seats back there in the back. Again, my parents' Avalon that they just got, very similar. So that is a traditional Toyota element. This one does come with a cargo net. And then underfloor storage, you can see we've got our Bridgestone tire down there. So very nice there. I do like a lot. They put a handle here to close, and you can see your hinges will come in to your luggage space. So just something to note there, but you can close it very easily one-handed. You don't have to slam it. That is a very nice touch. And one more thing before we jump inside, I do want to talk about the wheels. Again, this is the XLE trim, which basically serves as the base model. It isn't meant to be overly sporty or anything. These are 225 55 R19 inch Bridgestone Ecopia tires. So had to read that upside down, wrapped in very nicely styled 19-inch wheels. But let's take a look on the inside and see what it's like in there on this XLE Toyota Crown. All right, before we hop inside, I did want to show you the key, typical Toyota key. This is how the dealership gave it to me. I am going to keep it that way, but it's very easy to operate: lock, unlock, trunk release, and hold. And it is a proximity key, so you can just keep it in your pocket. As with all other Toyota products, you can unlock it by just putting your hand back here. You can lock it by pressing those lines there, and you can tell it's locked because your mirrors fold in. But again, you could just unlock it by putting your hand back there. And when you open the doors, you are greeted with a very premium upscale interior, even here on this XLE. We'll start on the door just because it's really easy to see. I really like all these rose gold accents that they put throughout the cabin on this one. All your window switches are here: lock, unlock, your window lock, mirror controls, and you can fold those in. So here's how you actually fold those mirrors in, right there from the driver's door. And then taking a look at the seats before I get in and sit in them, they are cloth with this leatherette here on the side that is very nice. These cloth seats are a very interesting cloth. They feel very premium, and they don't feel cheap in any way. So even though these are cloth seats, they definitely live up to the premium nature of this product. So I have no bad feelings about these cloth seats. Coming in, closing the door behind me, you can see it is supremely quiet in here. So we get rid of all the wind and road noise from outside. You can see here we have a full digital dash here with the Toyota infotainment system that has been making its way into all the products. To start it, put our foot on the brake and push the button right there. You can see the gauges come to life. Get a few bings here, and then the infotainment screen comes to life. It is a little slow to all come to it. You get your typical warning right there, but this is very similar to the Toyota Tundra we tested, the Toyota Sequoia we tested, the Lexus LX 600 we've tested. There's no real home screen, so you've got all these shortcuts over here, and whatever you're on there is what fills out the whole screen. This does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so it's a very unique system. This was built in-house by Toyota, this entire infotainment system, and they're quite proud of it. They are trickling it down to all their vehicles. We get a very easy to read full digital gauge cluster here. You can see I do have my rear seatbelt reminders back there. A lot of information going on up here. You can see we have lane keep, we have adaptive cruise, all types of driver assistance features here on this XLE that really doesn't have any option on it to speak of. Floor mats, that cargo net back in the back, but that's really about it on this one. So this is, quote, as base as they come, and it is still a very nice vehicle. You can see we have automatic headlights. We have, I do believe that's heated washer fluid right there, so that's nice for colder climates. Again, all these models are all-wheel drive. You can see down above my knee, you have an electronic release for the fuel door and your trunk. There are your brightness controls and your odometer reset. Do get a little bit of button overload here with the steering wheel, but it is a very comfortable steering wheel, very nicely leather wrapped, feels very premium, very soft in your hands, and it feels very typical of Toyota products. Over here, you get your climate underneath the big screen here. You do get a volume knob and power right there in the middle. Interesting that the power logo actually does rotate with the knob. So just little things that you notice here, hopping in a bunch of vehicles back to back. Vents work good. They're in a good placement. I don't think they're going to be much of a problem. You do get dual zone climate here with heated front seats. So that is a nice option here. Again, even on the most basic of models. So that's a nice touch. And then phone test. So I've got an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and you can see wireless charger right there. Starts charging very easily and quickly. And you can see it's open wide enough that if you were to drop something in here, say the key, it wouldn't be a problem. So there is a little bit of storage here in here if you need it, but we also have little arms holding it in place to keep it charging. You can see we've got a couple dead buttons here of options we don't have on this one. Just a little note. We do have 2 USB-C ports right up here. I find it very interesting the way Toyota is starting to incorporate USB-C ports in these little kind of bump out buttons that I've seen like on the Grand Highlander and some other vehicles from them. You do get 2 cup holders here with a slot where you can lay your phone here if you wanted to do something like that while you're driving, if you don't want to use the wireless charger. And then you do have a little removable section here, so you can open this up for even more storage if you wanted it. So kind of nice there. Very Prius-esque shifter here, so you push it over and forward. For reverse, that engages your rear view camera. This one does not have 360. You can turn those light lines on and off, various different buttons there. And then you can do a wide angle if you want, which kind of distorts the image just a little bit. Pull it over and back, puts you in drive. And then if you want to put it in park, just the button there. Do have a full EV mode, which at low speeds, you can basically force it to use up as much of the battery as possible before the engine kicks on. Auto hold button, different drive modes here, and your traction control with an electronic park brake. The different drive modes we have are Sport, Eco, and Normal, and you get a little different graphic here on the gauge cluster with each one. That is the Hybrid Max powertrain, the Platinum trim, I do believe, shown on those animations. So just something to note there. But that's how you control that. And then we have the center console, very interesting in that it opens from both sides. Again, something we saw in the Lexus LX600 that we're seeing trickle down to Toyota products. You get a felt lined little tray here, so nothing's going to rattle. And then everything in here is felt lined. It's very nice. You do get a USB-A port in here, a cigarette style lighter port right in there, so you can charge some extra devices that way. Have to talk about some additional storage here. The glove box door is incredibly tiny, so you don't really have to worry about bumping anyone's knees if they're sitting over here, which I like very much. And then it is more or less a tray inside the dash that you have to access the glove box right there. It's actually where the window sticker for this model is. And I can show you its stickers for just over $42,000. Really, the only options on it are here on the inside. So it is a very nice vehicle. And again, showing you the fuel economy, like I said outside, 42 city, 41 highway, 41 combined. So pretty much no matter the situation, you're going to be getting over 40 mpg in a very large family vehicle that is very comfortable, especially up here in the front. I talked about these seats being cloth. They are very comfortable and supportive. I could go on many a long ride on this one. And then the view up here of the dash, very nice, very upscale. Again, more of that rose gold. just to break up some of the black and dark here in the front of the Toyota Crown. But let's take a look at what the back seat is like. All right, moving to the back seat. Again, I just want to remind you, this has a higher, what they call H point or hip point. So you're not sitting down in it quite as much as you would, say, the Avalon, in which this replaced. Getting in, it is a very comfortable vehicle. You can see I've got plenty of room behind myself at 5'10". Again, more of that leatherette material on the backs of the seats, but you can see the cloth goes all the way up to here. In the back of the center console, we do have 2 vents with 2 USB-C ports. You can see on the passenger side, this is scooted a little further back. If you had someone about 6 foot tall, this is probably where they would be. But let's talk about these rear seats. Again, cloth covered, all cloth covered, a lot of it, but it really is a premium material. You do have a fold down center armrest with a couple cup holders here in the center armrest. You can see it does flop all the way to the seat bottom. You do have 3 across seat belts and 3 across headrests, and you do have removable plastic pieces to expose the lower latch points. While we're talking about the back seats, I mentioned that little window when we were outside, so there is the view of exactly what you would see out that rear window. But you can see back here, not a lot to speak of as far as amenities or comforts. We do have the power and the air back here. No sunroof in this one, but because of that, you can see, again, at 5'10", I've got a nice amount of headroom. There is a cutout here in the roof that gives me quite a bit of room, but I'm actually very comfortable. I could do a long road trip back here, no problem. My knees aren't in my chin or anything like that. It's a very comfortable vehicle, and you can see we even get some rose gold accents back here. So we're definitely not a second-class citizen back here, even though we don't get all the technology of the front in the front seats up there. But that's enough talking about this one. I've already sat in one at the Houston Auto Show. Let's get out and drive this one, see what it drives like. All right, so setting off here in the 2023 Toyota Crown. Very easy, very effortless to drive. The steering is good. Again, we've got a CVT, so you don't have to wait for the transmission to find the right gear. It just goes. And for the most part, you can tell when that gas engine kicks on, but it is a very familiar feeling to being in the latest Toyota Sienna, which has gone all hybrid, or the Camry hybrid that we've tested here on the channel. If you've been in a modern Toyota hybrid, this will be a very familiar feeling to you. The engine kicks in when you need a little power, kicks off when you can coast or use the battery power to power the electric motors. It does a good job. It does everything you would expect of a commuter vehicle, a daily driver vehicle. Very communicative, no muss, no fuss, very simple. And then the ride in this, very smooth, very nice, very comfy, not jarring. This is a very buttoned down vehicle, very supremely quiet in here, like Lexus quiet. This really does feel like a more affordable Lexus than it does a premium Toyota. And again, that's just the company working within itself, knowing what they can do, learning from themselves. But even these cloth seats just feel like a premium cloth seat. Everything about this vehicle does feel very premium, very upscale. And I've got a nice view of everything here in front of me. Controls are very easy to learn. Got a little bit of button overload, like I said, on the steering wheel, but I think it is something you would quickly learn in time. Again, very easy vehicle to learn. The gauges aren't too overwhelming. There isn't just an overwhelming amount of information here in front of you. You've got the basics, very easy to read and at a quick glance. All the way around, a very good vehicle. I can very much see this being a great road trip vehicle because, again, it's supremely quiet, supremely comfortable, very nice, very premium. Huge thanks to Woody and the team here at Classic Toyota for allowing me to test this one for you, to show you all what the entry level to this Toyota Crown is like. If you are interested in this or anything on their lot, go see them. I will link their website down below. Let them know GT Garage Talk sent you. If you want to see more stuff from us, let the algorithms know you want to see stuff. Hit the buttons, like, subscribe, comment, follow, all the things. You know, just let the algorithms know. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. All the things are at GT Garage Talk, or you can go read more about this at gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, I'm back at the dealership. I'm going to have to turn the keys over. So until next time, gearheads, bye.